All right, let's talk about trust, or specifically third-party trust. I mean, you know the drill. You wake up, you check your phone, and boom, there's another breach, another company, another household name, trending for all the wrong reasons, right? It's big headlines, bigger mess, and we barely blink anymore. We're so desensitized to that topic. It's become background noise. But here's the twist. It's not always the company that got breached. It's their vendor, a third party with access to systems, data, and customer records that they barely vetted. Why? Because someone filled out a spreadsheet or signed a BAA that they didn't even read, or maybe even both. And now the breach is on you. This is what passes for a third-party risk management, right? Or as I like to call it, a vendor roulette. And obviously, spoiler, the house always wins. So the story goes like this. You're an up-and-coming business. You've secured a few rounds of funding. It's all gas, no brakes, growth, growth, growth. And with that growth, you outsource basically every function within the company. Cloud hosting, analytics, billing, compliance, customer support, even babysitting your security posture. Well, congratulations. You now have hundreds of third parties with access to your core systems, right? Your data, your infrastructure, your customer relationships. And yet, how are most vendors vetted? A SIG questionnaire, a BAA, or maybe even a pen test summary if someone feeling generous. And when things go sideways, let's not kid ourselves because they always do, it's not the vendor that is in the headlines. It is you, unfortunately. According to IBM, third-party breaches make up 20% of all incidents. They cost more, they drag out longer, and they erode trust. Quietly at first, but then all at once. Why? Because your vendor's risk becomes your own risk, and you never really verified it. So then the question is, right, but why? Why is this third-party risk so hard to manage? Let me give you 3 reasons for it, right? And I bet at least one will hit home. First, it's manual. Vetting vendors usually means spreadsheets, emails, Zoom calls, and extremely inconsistent checklists. Now multiply that by 200 vendors, 400 vendors, 600 vendors. That's not due diligence. That's digital duct tape. Second, there's no shared language. You ask for a SOC 2, they send you an ISO cert. You ask for a risk assessment, they forward something from 2 years ago. Everyone's doing security, but no one's speaking the same dialect. Third, we're rushed. We're growing. Deals are moving fast. The go-to-market team is breathing down your neck. So what happens? Security reviews get skipped, or worse, they get rubber stamped. Now, if we zoom out, right, TPRM, it's manual, it's inconsistent, it's rushed. That's not a framework. That's a liability. And the worst part of that is we act like it's working. We check the box, we archive the email, and we move on until it blows up. The breach hits, the vendor goes to you, and you're the one explaining what went wrong. This isn't a spreadsheet problem, folks. It's a strategy problem. So this is where HITRUST comes in, right? Let's talk a little bit about HITRUST. HITRUST is a security and privacy framework. It's extremely comprehensive. It's robust. It's battle-tested, and it's prescriptive. It's grounded in real-world threats. It evolves with real-world risk. So this is not your another run-of-the-mill compliance badge. It's a legitimate strategy that has a structure for trust. And most importantly, it's verifiable. HITRUST is a certification. It's not like an attestation report where the trust truly depends on who signed the report. Every HITRUST assessment is performed by an accredited assessor firm like A-LIGN and then subsequently rigorously QA'd by HITRUST itself before a certification is issued. So here's how it works. HITRUST offers 3 types of assessments. You have an E1 assessment, which is a lightweight, great for low-risk vendors. You have an I1 assessment. It's a moderate assurance level assessment designed for mid-tier partners. And then the R2 assessment, that's the gold standard. You perform a deep dive into your critical infrastructure. The value for your team, here's the value for your team. HITRUST helps you streamline third-party assessments. It gives you one common language, one set of expectations, and one place to measure everything, right? That means you can tier your vendor list, set clear expectations, reduce friction, and stop drowning in 80-tab Excel sheets that nobody reads. This is what third-party risk management looks like. We recently audited a mid-sized health tech firm here at A-LIGN. They had about 40 vendors, but they had one person managing the whole program. Her desktop, I looked at her desktop, it looked like a graveyard of PDFs. They're flying blind, no way to prioritize the risk. So our advisory team helped implement a basic tiering model for them. E1 for vendors handling low sensitive data, I1 or higher for anything touching PHI or internal systems, and then for their core infrastructure, R2 or bust. The result, after a few months, onboarding time cut by 35%. Annual review cycle slashed in half. And for the first time, a real baseline to hold their vendors accountable. So that's how you go from a reactive fire drill to real assurance. So for TPRM, HITRUST works because it's, like I said, it's auditor verified. Every certification is performed by an accredited assessor, then it's QA'd by HITRUST. It's centralized. The MyCSF portal makes sharing the report and reviewing the report extremely simple, and it's scalable. You perform testing once, and then you reutilize many, many times. So when vendors adopt HITRUST, they're not just saying, hey, trust us with blind faith. They're saying, we've been through the fire, and here's the proof. That's what real third-party management should look like. Folks, third-party risk is not a side project anymore, unfortunately. It is the new frontier of cybersecurity. So if you're not holding your vendors to a real standard, you're not managing risk. You're managing vibes. And I don't need to tell you, vibes don't scale, right? Let's be honest. I'm not saying HITRUST is the perfect framework that's out there, even though I'm biased. I think it is. But let's even consider that it's not. But it's light years ahead. It's light years better than filling out SIG questionnaire responses and relying on an attestation report that we cannot fully trust. So if your TPRM program is still just a Google Drive folder full of hopes and prayers and PDFs, please hit pause. You gotta start tiering. You have to expect more from your vendors and yourself. Start utilizing HITRUST and integrate it into your compliance framework.